So I feel like I'm a little bit more than halfway completed with the video I want to film in terms of the paywall. So with this one's going to be very, very specific to the kinds of habits that create self-love. So this basically is designed to counteract all of the negative things that are a big part in our society. Like what people actually do when it comes to training themselves to not love themselves. This is an antidote to that. So I am taking my time with it because I take it very seriously, and this is going to be the video that I put out. And then this one, basically, you pay and then you can watch the video. It's going to be really, really cool because you can keep it and watch it over and over again. I highly recommend when you watch these kinds of videos, make sure you take notes. Take notes, because there's going to be things that maybe you don't remember at the time that you'll remember later, or that you can use, and especially if you have them written down, you can use them. And some stuff might, especially because I'm going to stick a lot in it, some stuff might go over your head. I try and put things in an entertaining sort of way. So I myself have Leo in the second house. I have it in the first house also, but I have it in the second house. And the second house is big about, it's your voice. It's like your way that you make money. This is such an important house. It isn't the only one about money, but I'd say it's the most personal one. Like your personal brand, so to speak. And so whatever you have in there, that will really give you a strong indicator as to the flavor, right? The flavor of how you bring income in for yourself. And it's really smart to use those natural skills. Now, Leo is a natural entertainer. This is someone that people like to watch. A lot of celebrities are either Leo risings or Cancer risings. So again, that would put either Leo in the first house or Leo in the second house. Again, if you have, high degrees of Cancer, sometimes this can kind of switch it up a little bit. Again, it brings different influences. But in those areas in particular, it brings a level of entertainment. So it's smart to play to that. Like every single sign has its benefits. You have to use what you have, and everybody's different. So when it comes to understanding oneself and being comfortable with that, I've gotten quite good at that understanding, not just for myself, but things that I notice actually work. And again, for people who want me to really make it more personal to them, it is more of a reading. And I'd be more than happy to do that, of course. But I thought for people who don't want it as specific, I thought I would talk through things that I know create positive influences in terms of how you can actually build that self-love. It's not as hard as what people think. It takes effort. Like I said, I'm going to go through those details with this video when it's completed. At the moment, I'm still taking notes because I want to make sure I'm getting everything, so that after you're done watching the video, you know exactly what systems to put in place, what things to start doing and to start thinking about, so that you can change that around for yourself. And I feel like if you don't do that, you don't know it, it becomes very difficult past that point to then increase it, because you can say to yourself all you want, I want to be positive about myself, I want to love myself, I want to do this, I want to do that. But if you don't know how to put it into practice in a practical way, when things start to crumble or you have a difficult week or a couple of weeks, it's very difficult to get back on track again. And sometimes it's difficult to quiet those voices in your head also. So there's a bit of a thunderstorm going on, if you can hear that. So adds to the ambiance, maybe. Anyway, ultimately, I think it's important to understand these types of practical details. Because once you set those into place, it isn't just self-love that it's going to improve. But I think self-love is one of the most important lessons or obstacles we have to overcome personally. The reason I say that is it's like a platform. It's a foundational place. So if you don't have that sorted, a lot of other things aren't going to be sorted either. It's going to be that much harder to achieve the things you want to achieve. And it just makes sense. And it's a lot easier than people think it will be. So I thought I will focus on that, and I think I'm getting closer. Like I said, I've really been making sure I take a few days to really it's been more than a few days, but so I can get this in order, and I'm going to do that for each of those videos. I want to create a few different ones that are going to help in different areas to change people's mentalities and to, redirect, to create different pathways, different processes, that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, the part that can be interesting is that we all resonate with different things. So there might be some people where it doesn't resonate, but I'm hoping to make it very, very general. As in, not you need to do this, this, and this because you're this kind of person. It's more, these are the practical tips that help override the system. A big one that I'll mention that's really important is auto-suggestion. If you don't know what that is, I will go through it in that video, and I'll teach you how to do it, because it's a really important tool to know how to use and to help you overcome these kinds of obstacles. So like I said, I'm doing that. I've just done a few videos and a few posts on Instagram and TikTok. I was for a while doing some stuff on Facebook, but look, both Instagram and Facebook, I'm not huge on the algorithm, if I'm being honest, but it's just about building over time, I suppose, like anything. TikTok, I think, works better. I think this one works better also, but it's still a little bit slower in comparison to TikTok. But I can do longer videos here, so I thought that would be worthwhile. And like I said, I'm trying to practice doing kind of a podcast situation. And I know a lot of podcasts, they invite someone. I'm not against that down the track. If that's something that somebody wants to collaborate with me, and it's something I feel comfortable to discuss with them, and it works I guess it works between us, like we can have different views, and in fact, that probably would make it more interesting. But I think it's that appreciation and respect and understanding of each other to make sure that it flows. So I'm up for that, if that goes down the track or whatever. But I'm just trying to think of different fun ways, because at the end of the day, the main reason why I do all the things that I do when it comes to my social media accounts and the things that I'm creating, my sole purpose for doing this is I want to help people get whatever they want in life, basically. That's what I want. I want to help them become the best version of themselves, to face whatever darkness they need to face, shame, embarrassment, guilt, whatever, to understand what makes them money, to understand what gives them confidence, what kind of relationships they want, what kind of career they want, whatever it is that they want in life, I'd like to be able to help them manifest it. And so everything that I do is about that basic premise. Like I said before, I am a manifesting generator in human design. So basically, I'm able to manifest things that don't exist yet into existence. And I find when people are ready to hear what I have to say, and they're ready to take that on, their lives improve. So, I can't reach everyone. I think slowly, over time, that's my plan. One person at a time, one experience at a time. Then that way I can help them. And that process is so important, because you have to be in the state of mind where you can start making those changes. Otherwise, and this is something, again, I probably would tackle this more in either I would say probably the coaching, definitely for specific things, or even wound healing in terms of the readings, and in general videos like the training ones. I'm sure I could find a spin on it, so I probably will. But you you have to be prepared and ready to face yourself, to face your views of yourself, to face what you don't like, why you don't like it, what holds you back and why. You've got to be willing to face all of that. Once you're willing to face it, and a lot of times it's about being fed up too, like really being sick of these outcomes, like just sick of it. I'm sick of it happening over and over again. I need to do something different. This is usually that point where, I think videos like this will come up on a feed, to kind of give you that different perspective. If you're not ready to hear it, though, you'll take it defensively. That's what I've noticed about people. I didn't used to understand that some years ago, and I used to get myself into a lot of hot water. And look, my intentions were good, right? They were. I was trying to help people. But at the end of the day, I have to wait for the invitation. I have to be ready. I have to wait for that person to say they're ready. And if they're ready, then they receive what I'm saying. Now, to some people that might sound a little bit woo-woo, wishy-washy, but I've seen it so many times, I know it to be true in my bones. So I wait for those people when they're ready. When they're ready, then I can help them face these things about themselves, get to that purpose, and make sense of it all, and then get what it is that they want. Again, it comes super easy, it's calm, it's peaceful, and it feels like it's the right answer. If not, it just feels like sandpaper, it's something coarse and uncomfortable. So there's no point, with people who are at that level, because they can't hear me. So it's about creating those types of practices, and that might be something else that I might do some videos on that, for at least a video, the practical tips again, of how to get yourself into that state. Again, it's still going to be possible more of a specific like reading of your chart. It might work better as the coaching, if I'm being honest, because you have to put things into practice if you want to work with the best energies of yourself. Again, otherwise you're going through it blindly. And look, my aim is to help people realize that astrology, human design, numerology, these are not silly, flaky, pseudoscience, whatever, It's more, they're general tools. They create specific tools and help you in the direction to improve your life. And I think, again, it takes a person to see it that way to help you with it. But I don't think it's fluffy or woo-woo at all. I'm not interested in fluffy things. So I've had some people think, when I meet them, they're like, I'm surprised you would be interested in astrology and all that. You seem like you're very logical, very scientific. And I say, yeah, I am. But it's about that ability to see different forms. It may not be something that resonates with you. Maybe not yet. But it could, if you remain open to it. It's like anything. Remain open, and I think the antidote to thinking you know everything is by remaining curious. Don't be convinced you know everything. Be open to the fact that you could learn. You could learn something new by simply just being open to it. Not being convinced that this is the way it is. Not being rigid. Right? And look, everybody's different. Some people are that way, and you don't want to go totally against your nature. I'm not saying that, but it is possible for everybody to try and remain open. Don't be sure you have it all worked out, because nobody does. And you lose, you kick yourself. You're swimming uphill, and you're never going to get to the top if that's your mentality. You can always learn something new, and the more open you are to that, the more dynamic, the more interesting you become. The more you have an opportunity to really have the life that you want also. And that, at the end of the day, isn't that the point of living? It's the point, isn't it? I mean, it should be. That you do what you love doing, you are around people you love being around, you're achieving things that you're really, really passionate about, and then again, helping others achieve those things. That's where we're at our best. Again, you will have your own specific arena that works. What one arena is good for one person is different to another. But it's that basic principle. Once you master yourself, you then can help others with the area that you specifically are tied to. And that's the whole thing behind life purpose, I think. That's why I'm so passionate about it. Because once you have that worked out, you can work out so many other things. So, I don't know, I think I'll leave it there. But like I said, I'm on the precipice. I'm nearly able to put this video through, and then I'm going to do the others. I've got a lot of behind the scenes stuff I'm going to do right now. So that's what I'm working on. I want to make sure I have lots of different things to help different people. And I do take what I do very seriously, and I want to help as many as I can. Anyway, yeah, you guys let me know on this platform or the others, you know, if there's some stuff in particular that, you know, you as an individual struggle with, and see if I can help you with that, or make some kind of product that will suit you if I don't already have one that is suited. But either way, I'm convinced I can help in quite a few areas, as long as I have charts to look at. It's it's very easy for me to then give you some tips and pointers of things that you can work on, and the direction to go. And of course, I'll be your cheerleader in your corner. I'll be the one cheering you on, saying, no, you can do this, and you will. And, you know, if you ever have a moment where you're not feeling motivated and you're not feeling like you're able to do the things you want to do, I mean, just reach out, right? I'm like, I am your cheerleader in the corner. If nobody else will back you up, don't worry about it. I will. And I can do that for the world, and that's what I'm doing. That's why I create content. That's why I do what I do. I don't care about the rest of it. I want every single person, everyone I can help. If one of my videos comes up and it brightens your day, that's what makes it worth it. If one of my training videos comes, you know, it's something that you take on and it improves your life, which of course it should, then it makes me happy. If I do a reading for you and you're able to now have clarification about something you didn't understand before, that's why I do what I do. With the coaching, same reason again. Everything I do, the purpose is to help you make your life better. And like I said, I'll be in your corner all the way.